24 years ago today, fans all over the world were mourning the loss of Aaliyah Houghton. Her funeral was August 31st, 2001. This loss, among others, is truly disturbing and one I will continue to speak about because I think that she was unalived. She should still be alive today. And I'm here to hold space for anybody else that feels the same. Anybody that doesn't agree, you can keep scrolling. This is for the true Aaliyah fans that know in their heart of hearts that something was not right about her passing. It wasn't an accident. It was intentional. It was planned. If you've seen videos of Mary J. Blige being interviewed about how she felt about Aaliyah's passing, some of the things she's saying is very telling that something wasn't right. And I was in college when she passed away. I am 1 year younger than she would be. When you hear news like that of somebody, we don't know celebrities unless you do know them, whatever. But no, I never met her, but you feel like you know somebody through their music and you're around the same age. You're growing up listening to this person. It's like you get that, you feel that connection with these artists, okay? But she was something truly special. The world, most of the world was enamored by her beauty, her fashion sense, the way that she just seemed really down to earth and the girl next door. She gave off a vibe like you could be friends with her, and she just had this warm, humble presence. She was painted to be a diva after death. But if you heard interviews of people how they spoke about her, they were saying that she was a star, but she didn't have that star attitude. She didn't come off like, yeah, I'm all that. She wasn't arrogant. She wasn't conceited. She was confident. There's a difference. And she was extremely talented and way ahead of her time. So how can one go from saying, so many people saying like, oh, she's so sweet, she's so this and that and very humble, to like she insisted on having her luggage on the plane? That just did not sit right with me at all. And a couple of my friends that we were just huge fans of her, we were fans of Fatima. We loved her choreography. I had a friend group, we would just learn the choreography together and we would do it. We would go to parties and we'd be doing every single music video that we knew of at the time and loved. And we would come up with our own choreography. We looked up to Fatima too. We loved her work, looked at her like this distant big sister. But it's painful. As much as it pains me to say this, I think she might have known something or had a hand in that. And I like I said, I hate to say that. And I have seen Fatima in person. She's striking. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. But there was something as an adult looking at any old footage that pops up, TikTok, they have all kind of videos that resurface. If I see video clips of Fatima when she was speaking about when Aaliyah passed, there was no tears. It looked forced to me. It was a little voice cracking, but there was no tears. And I came across this TikTok that someone who says that they are more of a medium. So they get confirmation or they get messages from different people who have passed on, and she's sharing her download of something she got, a reading from Aaliyah. I don't really, I'm not one of those people. I'm not saying, oh yeah, I gotta psychic ability, and I'm in tune with Aaliyah and all this. But there's things that I can just piece together from some of the things that have been put on the news about it. Um, but I don't think that she was put on that plane alive. I think that she was given something and she was already deceased upon being put on the plane, and they covered that up. There's something going on about Hype Williams taking the plane that was intended for her. But yeah, how is the footage? How was the footage able to make it? How was the footage from the Rock the Boat video intact? All the behind the scenes, because that was on the plane that was going to get who back to the States. She was supposed to be on that plane that was going to get her back to the States. How is Fatima still here? How is Hype Williams still here? How is her stylist still here? These are people that were always with her. Like this. They were like brothers and sisters to her. But they are alive, and then the 8 others are deceased. And there was the one survivor who was her bodyguard. His first question was, how is Aaliyah? And then he was asking for water. The whatever medic gave him Gatorade or something, and then he ended up succumbing to his injuries. But it was like everybody was taken out because somebody knew something, or a couple of somebodies knew something, and it was like they just had to unalive all of them or something. It's just strange. All of the dancers made it back, right? All of her dancers, but she doesn't make it back. Her hairstylist, her makeup artist, like maybe some of these people weren't agreeing to something, and it wasn't about the demands of their luggage being put on the plane. It was like they were forced into that situation. And it's pretty shady that people want to leave an imprint of her being like she was a diva and she insisted on having her luggage on that plane and everything must go and we must go. No, and then they stick this pilot who had no experience, who had drugs in his system, all kind of stuff. Like, you don't do that to a celebrity. You don't do that to a star. But back to what this lady was saying on her post about her encounter, whatever, reading from Aaliyah, was like Fatima had gotten to, like, was talking to Hype or something, and they were going to take the plane and they were going to leave her behind or something like that. And Aaliyah was really upset. And she's saying that she was drowned or something before passing and put on the plane. But yeah, ironically, Fatima had the last photo of her that she looked like she was sleeping peacefully, which is disturbing to me because out of all the video shoots you've done with her, like, you've never shared any of this like close-up photo of her sleeping peacefully. So eerie. And there was a video that I saw when she was shooting Are You That Somebody? And I caught some shade coming from Fatima, and I never picked up on shit like this before at the time. Because again, in the clip, Aaliyah was saying like, oh, we ain't got shot much of nothing. And she was tired, and she was joking about like, hey, we're going to all go back to Fatima's place and take a nap. And Fatima's like, And then Aaliyah laughs it off, but it's like, if you're really a friend with her, you're not gonna tell your friend no, she can't take a nap at your house, and all the dancers or whatever. You're gonna be cool about it. If a friend says, "Hey, I'm gonna come over," yeah, okay, come on, girl. Like, that's what real friends do. But she just was like, So yeah, really, how close were they? Aaliyah may have thought they were closer than what they really were. She called her sister at one point, like, oh, this is my sister Fatima. That's what she says on that the behind the scenes footage of Rock the Boat. So the ones that I'm holding space for, drop it in the comments. The plane was sent by Lenny Kravitz. That plane that was sent for her, Hype Williams took it. And so it's just one of those things that, like Selena was unalive behind some jealousy, craziness. I think MJ was unalive. RIP, his birthday was just the other day. So a lot of the great ones that have like a special gift, a light about them. And you know how like most narcissists prey on people like that. There's so many narcissists in that industry, and they are energy vampires, and they are draining the life out of some of these celebrities that have a special talent, that are here for their own purpose, but they are taking them and they're using them. Like poor Aaliyah, she was used her whole entire career. And once she got to a place where she thought she was coming into her womanhood and making that transition from young girl to young woman and trying to make decisions on her own, people just probably did not like how she was gonna outshine them in a lot of ways. So they did her wrong. They did her completely wrong, and she deserved better.